here's the deal. I try and stay away from politically charged messages here on the show because, well, I know some of you guys don't really like it. And to be honest, that's getting harder and harder every day because of the simple fact that politics and government are now permanent fixtures in our industry. And a side note here, you know what else ticks me off a little bit? The fact that we shoot a funny show that has no bearing on anything, and those shows get thousands of views and tons of shares. We shoot a show like last week's about the future of the industry and point at the fact that we can't be complacent while the government ramrods changes down our throat while stripping the industry of its earnings, and what do? We're complacent. Very little shares, very little likes, and views are down. Look, we love being funny and pointing fun at each other and ourselves, but I love my job and the industry even more. I know we are apparently predisposed to be complacent and not rock the boat, but come on, guys. If you're not going to fight, at least join a group that is, like NAR, or the Mortgage Bankers Association, or the National Association of Independent Housing Professionals, or the National Mortgage Brokers Association. I don't know, do something. These guys think they can do anything and get away with it, and they basically are. So there's my rant, and I'm sure it'll fall on deaf ears, so let's get to today's government raping of the real estate industry.
So what can affordable health care learn from real estate? Well, the simple fact that the government maybe isn't the best implementer. Sure, everyone wants affordable health care, but having Washington run it from top to bottom is an extremely bad idea.
You don't have to take our word for it. Look at the other industries like the U.S. Mail and Social Security. These programs are either out of money or already broke.
Heck, look at our industry. Since the government took over Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, costs have risen quite a bit.
The government red tape and the CFPB reform for the consumer's benefit, but somehow they keep ending up costing the consumer more.
Sure, rates are low, but that's because they have to be. Did you know they'd be even lower if the government took their proverbial hand out of the kitty?
Don't know what that means? It basically means that Fannie and Freddie get to charge more for their services. The awesome little secret that nobody talks about is what the government actually does with the money generated by these G fees. Surely it stays in the industry, right? After all, there's no way that money could be funneled to other things that have nothing to do with housing, right? Heck, the borrower even paid that fee during the home buying process. It has to stay here, right?
Nope. You think we're making it up? Google it. And oh yeah, these awesome little G fees have doubled since the government takeover in 2007. Doubled!
They increased their G fees, which basically increases rates to the consumer under the veil of bringing back private money to the market. Oh, it just so happens they're making a shiz ton of money off it as well. That's interesting.
And how about the oversight requirements? Heck, lenders have to basically originate the perfect file to stay in business anymore.
Why? Well, for the benefit of the consumer, of course.
Look, we're all for full disclosure and less mortgage fraud, but what you have created now is just flat out ridiculous.
You essentially have loan checkers checking the loan checkers, and that's not even good enough. And oh yeah, all this personnel and software, it's not free. It has also increased the cost to the consumer.
What? It was for the consumer's benefit.
Yeah, well, once again, good intentions ruined by the government. The government is to real estate and affordable health care as Lenny is to those poor little rabbits in the movie of Mice and Men.
Tell you what. About the rabbits.
Again, in 2007, before the government meddling, it roughly cost lenders about $3,700 to originate a loan. Today, that cost has skyrocketed to $5,900 a loan.
Over a 60% increase to originate a single loan for the consumer. And guess what? Lenders aren't eating that cost either. The consumer is. Let me wrap this up in a nice little bow for everyone. Washington was exposed this week for what's being called milker bills, or legislation.
What is a milker bill? It's basically legislation or bills passed to milk money from certain industries that have nothing to do with the government.
Essentially, the government passes a bill, or in the case of healthcare or real estate, they take over the entire freaking industry, they run it how they wish, and they charge what they want, all in the name of saving or fixing that industry.
Real estate was broken?
Government to the rescue.
And we all know how well that's working out for us. Healthcare is broken?
Government to the rescue.
And we all know what they did to our industry, so we can all guess what they're gonna do with healthcare.
My guess is, and it has nothing to do with their first failed step, the website, it will be overregulated, cost more, and be less efficient. All for the benefit of the consumer. I would say share today's show, but my guess is that you have already left. But thank you for those that stuck around and get it. See you guys next week.